Lovely loves. So I'm trying to get on here really quick. I don't have much time but I wanted to get on here and I wanted to talk about why I agree with Kanye. What is it about Kanye that makes me what he said that I agree with? And actually I agree with him. The only thing that I don't agree with is the context that he used. And it's not even so much that I don't agree with it, because ultimately it's true. It's going to be true in any context. But the context that he was using can easily be misinterpreted. So he said, slavery was a choice. And the fact is, slavery is a choice. It's not that it was a choice. It is a choice. And if you're buying into being a slave, you're buying into it being a reality for anyone. You're buying into something that you shouldn't buy into, because it's not something that is helpful for anyone. And I will say that when he said that thing about his daughter coming home from school and saying, she's black and her mother's white and that kind of thing, I actually had a similar situation happen to me. And my situation is, my daughter came home to me and she said, people my color are slaves, and people my friends' colors, white people, they are the ones that enslaved the brown people. And this whole thing, this story that people are fed, tells them their place. And it's not even so much about saying that you're black or saying that you're white or whatever. It's the story that you put behind it. And if you believe in that story and you give that story your belief and your power, then it becomes real to you. So I had to tell her, I'm like, you know what? That's a story that you're told. Now let me tell you another story. And then I told her a different story. And I told her, they're both just stories. None of them are true right now, and you make your own choices on how you want to feel about what you are and who you are and what other people are to you. You don't have to buy into the story that you're told. And so the whole thing with Kanye, it was a choice. It's true, it was. Even in that context, it was. But the issue is that we don't even know we're slaves, so it doesn't seem like it's a choice. They didn't know, and it was even said that Harriet Tubman said that she could have saved more slaves had they known they were slaves. Because many times, you don't know, like, if that's all you know, if your whole generational makeup is showing you this is how it is, and you buy into that, then you don't even know you're a slave. And in fact, we're all slaves to a point, because we're all in the prisons of our bodies. And that's when you identify with it, and to a point we all do. That's why we're always focused on it. That's why we have such an attachment to it, because we've identified as it being ourselves. And when you do that, when you identify with your body as being yourself, you are essentially putting yourself in prison. And when you're in prison, you are a slave. You are setting yourself up to be a slave for a multitude of things. Because now you think that this is you and that you have to take care of it. So you think you have to take care of your body. So that means you can be a slave, because you now have something that you put that can be harmed, that's limited, that's very fragile, that now you have to take care of, because our bodies are very fragile. And if we think that we are in charge of taking care of them, we are essentially putting ourselves in prison. And this is what we've all done. And there's nothing, it's like the slavery thing, when you say it that way, when you say, the white person is putting the black person in slaves, what you're really forgetting is that they're both slaves. You can't have a jailer and a prisoner and them not be living the same lie. One of them might feel like they've somehow gotten over on the other one because they've manipulated them into believing and into being subservient. But ultimately, the manipulator and the manipulated are equally in hell. Because to set up that whole life situation for yourself, you're setting yourself up to be in hell. And so that's kind of what I wanted to say too, is like, all the stuff that Kanye said, I actually agreed with. It's just the way that he said it may not have come across in the way that maybe you wanted to hear it, especially if you're looking at yourself from a limited point of view. Now, is the reality here a certain way? It is a certain way, and it's the reason why it is this way is because the stories that we're telling. And he brought that up. That's why he brought up his daughter. The reason that my daughter thinks that she was a slave is because she was told that in school. It's not like she woke up one morning and decided that white people are enslaving her. She was told that. And so now she's looking at them different. Like, you know what? These people did this to me. Well, what does that mean? And this is what I'm saying. Like, we're repeating these stories. And I'm not saying that you have to completely forget about what happened in the past. You just have to understand that, you know what? That's the past. I don't need to teach these young kids that are forming their whole lives about it at this point. I can talk to them about it later. When they've already formed a relationship with other people that is positive, I can let them know, you know, there were some mistakes that were made, and it's some real bull. Like, isn't that silly? Isn't that silly that that story happened, or that story may have happened? Because who knows? What is it that we really know? Were we there? I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that, you know, there's no validity to it. It's just, stop telling these stories to these young minds that are shaping their reality when they're not ready for them, especially if you're using it in a context and you're telling them that, you know what, this is happening right now because of X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z. So, yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. I wanted to just get that out there, that what he was saying was true. All the stuff that he was saying, it was true. His delivery may not have been the best delivery, because he honestly, it's like you have a message, and his message was love. His message was truth. But the delivery of it, sometimes it could be however you want to see it is how you're going to see it. So if you want to see it as fear and as separation, then that's what you're going to see. But in reality, that's because you've got the lens of that on your face. And that's not really what's real. So if you want to see the truth, you can open your eyes up and you can see it. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Later, loves. Bye.